Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
I'm Katie.
And we're so excited that you're here tonight on a very warm night.
It's so warm.
Southern California and the rest of the world, I feel like.
Yeah.
How are you?
Warm, sweaty, not nearly caffeinated enough.
Okay.
I haven't had as much caffeine as I normally have by this point of the day.
Okay.
And I haven't even had a Diet Coke.
I don't know who you are. This is so weird.
Who am I?
I do not know. But what I do know is this weekend we are walking in the Chalk Walk bright and early on Sunday morning, and there still is time to join our team at chalkwalk.org/dapsmagic. We'd love if you joined. If you can't, walk virtually. Join anyway. It'll be great.
You can do it.
Or you can just donate. But really, it's more fun to have your name on the list and be a part of Chalk Walk as we make a difference for the children of Orange County that go to Chalk. And I will say this. We will have the pickle milkshake video coming with Zach, because we zoomed on by that number. We are now getting close to having a song that will accompany it. The pickle milkshake Chalk Walk song. I don't know what it's going to be, but we're getting close to having it happen because we keep getting donations and new team members. We got 2 on Sunday, so join the team, donate.
We're very cool.
Maybe you just want to hear a dumb song.
That too. And don't forget, this is my time to go on my public platform. If your company does do donation matching, that counts. So if you've got a company that does donation matching,
use it.
Use it.
Make a difference. It'll be fun. All right. What else should people do, Katie, as we're getting into the show?
You should go into the chat feature wherever it is that you're watching the show. I assume YouTube, but I'm not going to judge you if it's not. Go into the chat feature and say things, preferably nice things, like how much you love pickles, or how much you love when other people eat the pickles off your plate for you. If you get like a sandwich and there's like a pickle spear, I'm going to ask if I can have your pickle spear, or I will just stare at it longingly like,
so I see in the chat that Taryn says Daps Magic Pickle Milkshake song is better than all of Noah's work. So here's my question. If we go from $1,000 to $2,000 in donation, plus from where we started, so we're getting close to the $1,000, so it's an additional $1,000 donation. Let's say by Sunday, will Noah collaborate with me on this? Because then you just know mayhem will ensue. Right? So we're throwing you on the spot here, Noah. I don't even think you're watching, but
Taryn, can you tell Noah?
You're gonna hear about this, and it's for charity. So
you can't say no.
You know, it's for the children.
Yeah. Perfect.
Well, we'll check with him and make sure this is okay. But
Taryn and I won't.
It'd be $1,000 by Sunday. So that will take some major fundraising on behalf of the Daps Magic team. But you know what? It could be ridiculous.
It sure could.
It could be very mayhem is exactly the word. Yeah, I like this. I think it's a great idea. All right. Speaking of other great ideas, Fat Cat Swinger released a new single, a swinging single. I was trying to say, but I was having a hard time finding the words. And it is for one of my absolute favorite Fat Cat songs. It's called Martini Mama. And you can find it wherever songs stream, I believe. And if not, just go look for it on Daps Magic, because we've got it there as well, both in video and the single format. So we've got the live, one of the live many times we've recorded it.
Many times.
And also on that. Also, they will be in Chicago the next 2 days. So if you're near Chicago, you can see them live, and you can say Mr. Dapp sent you, and they will be very happy about that. And bring your friends. But no, check out this song, share it with your friends, get them lots of listens and views. And this is important because they are going on it's basically like a month-long tour all over the Midwest, a little bit of the West, but it's all over the place. And that would be a good way to start things off. And they're great.
I love this song.
They're some of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet.
I think everyone should listen to it. I will never forget when we asked Sean O'Kelly specifically what kind of martini is the Martini Mama, like what, and from what Sean O'Kelly has said, and again, music belongs to the listeners. It could be whatever type of martini you like, but to Sean O'Kelly, it is an espresso martini. And
even though they do have, was it the Fat Catini, which is not an espresso martini, but maybe someday in our Patreon we will make one of each and see how they both turn out.
Well, yeah, because Sean's wife apparently has like a special espresso martini.
Maybe we can get Sean to virtually join us from wherever he is, and we'll make them together and we'll do a fun segment on our Patreon. So there's our plug for Patreon, which also there are some really cute puppy videos going up on Patreon on a somewhat regular basis when he's being cute and not crazy.
There's also, I'm going to say it here too, special surprises to our patrons going out. Make sure you have your addresses updated. And then get excited, because I personally think it's very fun.
Yes. So just don't shake it off. All right. Moving into Disney California Adventure, we have news that the Avengers Vault will be opening at Avengers Campus in mid-September. If you've been in Avengers Campus anytime recently, you've seen that there's construction happening, and now it's officially announced what exactly it is and more or less when it's opening. What's the one in Hollywood backlot, the store, Superstore? Superstore. It looks like it's closing on September 14th. So my hunch is around then is when the Avengers Vault will be opening. And what do you think of this new store in this big building?
I think it makes more sense for a Avengers themed merchandise place to be in Avengers Campus, especially because the Avengers Superstore started being less of an Avengers Superstore and more of kind of a catch-all.
And not as big. Like, I feel like it's kind of backed off what it originally started. Yeah.
Full to like half to like a quarter.
Feels like it. I mean, maybe that's just our imagination, but.
And you can't even see the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Play It sign anymore. So like, what's the point?
I don't know.
Because personally, that's the only reason I was going in there, was to see the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Play It sign. Because I do love DCA 1.0. Anyway, beside the point. And I couldn't play it as a kid because I was too young.
Bring it back.
You know what? Bring it back. Just
Round
for
two.
me.
Bring back that and bring back Muppet Vision 3D.
Oh,
that's what we want.
Would be my perfect afternoon.
The store will be open, or the space will be open. So
I could go to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, play it, and then walk right over to Muppet Vision 3D, but restored.
Just go back and forth
to its original glory.
I want Walt Disney World original glory.
Oh, I was thinking, I can't think of the name of the spacecraft, but crashed in front.
Oh, you want the queue also? Okay.
Yeah, I want all of it.
Okay, that's fair.
And then you know what?
While we're on it,
turn Hollywood Backlot into Muppet Courtyard. In fact, I'd be okay if you guys don't bring it back Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Play It. You know what could go in that space? You know what could go in that space, Mr. Daps?
No.
A restaurant called Pizza Rizzo. A restaurant called Pizza Rizzo could go in that space.
Or what if they did like an Italian restaurant there that was the Swedish chef's restaurant?
I'm listening.
That's the whole thing.
Okay.
It's literally, because I feel like it's funny, because you wouldn't have like IKEA restaurant there. You would put something a little bit off. And I was like, well, I bet he can do Italian. Like, I don't know.
Sure.
You could do like what they're doing at Food and Wine Festival in Epcot and have Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker, the chefs, like they've created science-y foods.
We could also do Muppets Mobile Lab. We could also do
that could fit there.
Great Moments in History with Muppets. We could also
But it could be more modern history.
It could be Superstar Limo featuring the Muppets. That's the story that they're telling, not Superstar Limo. Like, don't do the attraction. I want Muppets to tell the story.
Why not call it the Great Muppet Adventure?
I want the Muppets to tell the story of DCA 1.0.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you could basically do the Muppet movie. Like, you could do the story of the Muppet movie in the current Monsters, Inc.
Yeah, that also works.
And you call it the Great Muppet Adventure.
And then...
because it's not a movie anymore. Or the attraction that once was a movie.
And then... Okay, everybody shut up. I've got a great idea. So, everybody stop what you're doing. The current Hollywood bar, get rid of it. Okay, we don't need that anymore for what we're doing. The stage 12, is that what it is?
Sure. The one over in
where
the corner.
where Flynn's
Yeah.
was. We're gonna make that into a bar.
Okay.
That's gonna be the bar.
Where the Electric Mayhem plays. They're the house band.
That also works.
Yeah.
But you know who could play when
very
the
important.
Electric Mayhem is not playing?
Who?
Rolf.
Oh yeah, it could be either Rolf or the Electric Mayhem.
It could be a piano bar where he's serenading, and then Steve Martin's your waiter for some reason. We're not really sure what's going on there. But
there you go.
Guys, this is $1 million.
So now we need a petition, like one of those people that start petitions to start the petition. And
Walt Disney Imagineering, I, Katie Bear 13, am totally okay if you use my idea. I would be honored. I won't ask for any money at all. I promise I'm not closing, like I'm not crossing any of my fingers.
Penguin Band could play also. That's
Penguin
a great
Band
idea.
could also play.
This is solid.
Oh my God.
You know, the only thing we missed with all of this is we didn't know we were going Muppets, so we didn't do our cool sting that goes into like, let's talk
about Muppets.
But that's okay.
When are we not talking about the Muppets?
I know, but I feel like we should do this anyway because this is great.
Sneeze.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Mr. Dad. Thank you, Mr. Dad. Thanks, man. Thanks, Mr. Dad. Thank you, Mr. Dad. Thanks, man.
See, and they could do that. Like, if we could have them do that while we go into the restaurant lounge.
They say thank you,
bar.
Mr. Dubs.
Yes.
It's like E.T. in Orlando, which neither of us have ever done. But E.T. says your name.
Yeah.
Well, he says most names.
So here's my question for those of you watching. Which Muppet would you like to see me interview next? Like, this is just blue sky. Like, if you could have Mr. Daps interview any Muppet, which one would you choose? I know what I would choose.
Beaker.
Okay, you would choose Beaker. That could be interesting.
A fascinating interview.
It would be.
Because
it'd be like interviewing Sebby. That's fine.
Because you're really good at going with things.
Okay. And then a Broadway caliber Muppet musical in the Hyperion. Thank you. What's the one in, is it Muppet, I'm forgetting, in Muppets Take Manhattan.
I was thinking Muppets Take Manhattan.
The movie. But what's their show? It's like the Muppet Melodies. Miss Piggy would be fun too. Yeah. And we can't do any of the ones I've already interviewed. So that would work.
Miss Piggy would eat, but she would also eat Mr. Daps alive. So let's all consider that. Let's all consider that. There would be no crumbs.
But you could also go Manhattan Melodies. Thank you, Clocky. It would be like you could go obscure too, though. Like there's some interesting obscure Muppets that could be interesting.
Speaking of Muppets, I know it's not Disney Muppets, but I did just watch an interview. It was a radio interview, which was fascinating, but they filmed it, so they were there. With Elmo and Abby Cadabby on an Australian radio station, and they were playing all these Australian artists that should come to Sesame Street, and it was so fun because like at first they played this like screamo, and they both at the same time went, you know who would love that? They looked at each other and went, Oscar. And then like they played this Australian artist who I like. Her name was Peach PRC, and she has like these fairy wings. And Abby Cadabby was like, I have fairy wings. Like, I think that you going to Sesame Street would also be extremely magical.
I would be loving that because that was my first exposure to the Muppets was Sesame Street and Kermit.
Would you want to interview Big Bird?
Big Bird would be fun. Oscar the Grouch, I think, would be hilarious. Telly.
Oh, okay.
Telly, I feel like always could get more love. Elmo seems too easy, and I haven't met him before, so I feel like that almost negates the chance of doing an interview with him. I don't know who I'd like. Ernie and Bert would be hilarious.
Oh, that would be very funny.
I feel like Ernie and Bert would be a very fun. But I do love the Big Bird and Snuffleupagus. That would be great.
You guys would never guess in our friendship who's the Bert and who's the Ernie. You'd never guess.
Comments. All right. Moving right along. It has been very warm at both Walt Disney World and the Disneyland Resort this week. And so we have posted a guide, if you will, for how to survive the heat when you're in the Disney parks, which we're not going to talk about.
No.
Because you can go read the guide.
Yeah.
We don't need to give you all those. We've done that before. What I'm going to ask you is, what is your favorite thing to do in the Disney parks when it is ridiculously hot? Now, I'm talking like 95 and above.
This is a two-part. One, drink so much water.
Yep.
Like,
that's your favorite thing to do?
Genuinely.
Okay.
I love to like drown myself in water because it makes you feel better for a moment. So getting ice waters from like the quick service restaurants, things like that. Like,
okay.
You watched me munch on ice cubes the other day, which I don't do. I do not chew on ice cubes.
And then part two?
Part two is go to animation.
Okay, animation. Okay, that's a good one.
So drink a whole lot of water.
Like, to me, it's all about Pirates of the Caribbean on a really hot day.
But that's so humid.
It's fine. You're down in air conditioning. It's great. And it's 18 minutes.
It's true.
Like, that's a big part. I used to really like I used to say Captain EO was one of the ones I would go to on a really warm day. Like, I don't know, that one's, you don't get too relaxed, but you're also cooled off. Like, Opera House is great too. Muppet Vision used to be really good.
I do love a monorail ride.
On a hot day?
Yeah, weirdly
But they close it when it's over 80.
Yeah, that's true. I just like to take naps on the monorail.
Okay, so the train will say.
Yeah, I do like to take the train when it's hot. Anywhere where I can take a quick little snooze.
Mark Twain's pretty nice too, actually.
Snoozy.
All right, well, let's move right along. We had our quarterly call with Bob Iger and temporary CFO of the Walt Disney Company this last week. And basically, to put everything in a very short review, parks are doing pretty well. In fact, really well if you're overseas. Florida's slowing down a little bit. Disneyland's doing fine. Disney Plus only lost half the amount of money that it lost last quarter, which is, when you think
for a streaming service, is very
well.
good.
And it was basically like 500 million, I want to say, this time, and so like 100, that's a lot. And the big takeaways I had, like, they're like, oh, we're doing this stuff, that stuff, whatever. One of the big things is Disney Plus, the ad-free prices are going up. However, if you get ads for Disney Plus, they're staying the same, which I think is interesting from looking at a business model standpoint, because that just shows that they're doing better per user with the ad version of Disney Plus and Hulu. And what do you think about the price going up? It's going up like 27% for ad-free. Will you still?
I don't. I do pay for the ad-free.
You
I don't know. I have to be honest. I forgot about my Disney Plus subscription because I did that thing where I paid for 3 years of it.
But now you're paying monthly, probably.
Probably. I should look into that.
Yeah, you might.
Whoopsie. But yeah, I think it was inevitable, unfortunately. I also think this was to be expected with the way that Hulu has their model, because they are.
Well, and Hulu's actually making money.
Well, Hulu's also been around much longer. So it's expected. Do I think it's necessary? Not particularly. Am I disappointed as a consumer? Yes.
Well, and you do have to wonder, at what point does the pendulum swing over to the other side, where you're no longer actually saving money by streaming, you're spending just as much for, because I actually think
already there.
Yeah, I think we're actually spending more now for streaming than we were for cable, or basic cable or whatever. I will say this though, I like the streaming model better because I can choose what I want to watch anytime I want to watch, assuming it's up. And it's a simpler process.
Cable does have similar models though.
Yeah, I mean it is, but like, I like the digital format better than a traditional cable format. And I like being able to just grab anything I want off Apple TV. Like, just open it up and say, hey, I want to watch Blackbeard's Ghost, and it opens up Blackbeard's Ghost.
I will say, and like, don't tell anyone I said this, because if they raise the price, I'm gonna be so mad.
They're gonna raise the price.
I do think Apple TV Plus currently is the best bargain streaming service.
Didn't it just go up $1?
Still $6 a month.
Yeah.
That, in my opinion, is the best deal for a streaming service, with some of the best original content, with very talented.
There's some very good stuff there, and I think it's just getting started.
Like Shrinking is incredible. Ted Lasso is incredible.
Sports.
It's got
some good sports.
It's got it's not Nettie Abroad. It is.
I wish it was an Idiot Abroad.
The Reluctant Traveler.
I love an Idiot
with
Abroad.
Eugene Levy.
It's the Idiot Abroad wannabe.
It's the Idiot Abroad,
Mhm.
but it's so fun and it's family friendly. But
Which the other one's
the other one's not. It's just, in my opinion, a great streaming service. So
okay.
tell your friends, tell a friend, but also keep it a secret.
No, or don't.
You.
The other part of that is they're going to next year start cracking down, it sounds like, on password sharing between households for Disney Plus. What do you think of this?
Why?
To make more money.
Why?
They flat out said they think there's money to be made there. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying that's what they said.
It just frustrates me. And honestly, I think that we all saw the reaction Netflix got when they tried to do this.
But I think it did work out for them in the long run.
I canceled my Netflix subscription.
Yeah, but I think overall it turned out okay. Because they actually referenced Netflix as one of the reasons to do it. Which
I
surprises
don't know, man.
me.
You guys can say whatever your moral opinion is on password sharing. I personally think it's fine. I think that sharing is caring in this instance.
Okay.
And also, like, it's very funny because, yes, it's all on the same TV, but we have a system as a family, and I know that my brothers have a system as well, where it's like, we'll all pay for these streaming services, and you pay for these streaming services, and then we share. My brothers do similar things, except they don't live in the same household. They live in different states. But it's a good way of, because what we discussed, how it is so expensive, it's like, okay, well, I pay for Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, which is, in my opinion, the weakest streaming service.
It's got some good stuff too, though.
Hulu, it does, but
like, it always surprised me because it's not my go-to because I don't like its interface.
Interface is terrible.
And I just don't like, all the graphics look old and it looks tired.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I go on there, I'm like, oh, there's some really good content on. And they've got a very deep library. Here's the way I think they should do it is I think it should be almost like a license instead of subscription of like, you can have 3 devices at any given time, which technically they have, and it doesn't matter where they are. Because my concern is traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go to Florida or I go to wherever, like I often end up watching stuff on my computer or iPad or whatever. And if they change it, does that mean that when we travel, you can no longer use your subscription? Heck, even in a Disney hotel. That's the question I'm curious about.
And also, and this is me just spitballing here.
Mm-hmm.
Why have we, and when I say we, I mean the royal we of the Walt Disney Company,
royal we,
not put Disney Plus on the hotel TVs, even if it was just like a.
Oh, you mean for free?
Yeah.
Because you can log in, but.
But I think that there should be, even if it's a dumbed down sample version of Disney Plus, where you could play cartoons or classic Disney movies or whatever.
But get them into it that way.
I think that should be an option.
And I think
Karen, thank you.
And I think that the way you do that is you give your email address or something, so they're getting something out of it also. Yeah. And that would make sense. All right. Moving right along, as we promised, I think somewhere. I don't remember where. Maybe he's on the internet somewhere. It's time for IndieCam. So enjoy this week's IndieCam number 3. there you go, IndyCam. He got tired of the ball after that point, so end of the video. But hope you enjoyed IndyCam number 3. If you liked it, let us know in the comments, and there will be number 4, hopefully next week.
We already filmed it.
We did?
Ooh, was that...
Oh, yes, we did.
I was like, wasn't that what that was?
It can be. It might be. Yeah, that's true. All right. We're going to move into something controversial now. We don't have a good graphic for this because we didn't plan this out. But we have been covering quite extensively the last year and a half, I guess, whatever, the ongoing feud between the Walt Disney Company and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who this week asked Disney to drop its lawsuit. So in a word, what do you think of Governor DeSantis? And I think he said that he's moved on. So in a word, what do you think of this? Or do you want me to say a word first?
I'm just worried the word I have to say.
Do you want mine first?
Sure.
Nuts.
I don't know that my word's nicer.
Okay.
I'm going to say it, and if you guys get mad at me...
As long as it's DAP's appropriate, you're fine.
Pathetic.
Okay, there we go.
Quitter.
Yeah, I was like, you picked a fight, don't walk away.
That's my thing. I'm like, that's literally like, you swung first in a fight, and now they're bigger and badder than you, and you're like, oh, what? This guy wants to fight? Oh, I wasn't even trying to fight this guy.
Yeah. So we will see how this plays out. We'll continue to follow along and be publishing that on Daps Magic as things happen. And let us know your thoughts in the comments on the individual articles as well, because I do know people read those as I've been looking and getting emails. You never know. All right, finally, last Thursday, I went to the Disneyland Resort and got a preview of the final episode of the 2nd season of The Wonder Years, the new version that was filmed at Disneyland, and it will be streaming on Thursday, but it'll be airing tomorrow night on ABC. And I'm just going to say this is a very charming show, very charming episode, and it's always fun to see how so this takes place in 1969, and I always love how they try to like showcase different parts of the park to make it feel like it was in the right time.
Like Saving Mr.
Even though they filmed it in, I think it was December or something. So there's some really clever things that they did to make it feel like you're going into the right time and make it accurate to that time. And is it perfect? Probably not. But I will say this, you get to see a recreation of Mickey Mouse from that time that they created for the show. I believe also a recreation of the Big Bad Wolf.
Ooh.
You have the old school Disneyland band, old school Dapper Dans on their bike, but it's the old school Dapper Dans with current like Dapper Dans that you'll know and recognize if you go to the park regularly.
Bring back the
the old guys
Dans?
aren't. They might still be around. I don't know. Maybe not. And there's a certain attractions cast member that you might recognize if you're a regular in the park. So very fun, very cute. Make sure to check it out. We are in Geeks Corner Plus now. So if you have any questions or comments for us that you'd like responses on or about, let us know in the comments. We'll be keeping our eyes open. But it was a fun show. It's definitely worth seeing. And the whole thing's streaming on Hulu, I believe, right now. And I don't know if they've announced a 3rd season or not, but just from the episodes I did watch leading up to going to this event and then watching the actual episode, I was like, yeah, this is actually a fairly cute, family-friendly, like it's similar to the old Wonder Years, but not exactly. It takes place in a different time era and all that fun stuff, but it's worth checking
out. Happy Geeks Corner Plus. I did survive Taylor Swift last week. Barely, but I did. I would like to shout out to my mom because she had to watch me thoroughly scream for about 3.5 hours. Like, I got a text from somebody that was watching a TikTok live stream, and they said that somebody had, I can say the word because Indy's not here. Somebody had very demonically screamed near their live stream. it's blue when she said, when she came out in a blue dress. And I said, I'm not even kidding. I think that might have been me. Because that is like how I was, like screaming. I did not lose my voice. Insane. I don't know. She did announce 1989 Taylor's version. Very fun. So now all that we have left is the Yeehaw and the Snake album, which will be fun. Preferably, I'd love a little snake in a cowboy hat, but that's just me. Yeah, it was a great time. She puts on a wonderful, wonderful show. I did not take any videos because I didn't want to hear myself scream. Yeah. One of my baristas said something that they had taken videos and they tried to show one of their videos to someone. They were like, who's screaming? And he was like, oh, I don't know. It was him.
You know, that person in that place.
Yeah. So I did not take videos. And the only video I did take, and I laughed because I told Mr. Daps about this, was the 1989 Taylor's version announcement. And I went into Daps magic mode. I literally went like, no noise, just. And then the second I hit stop recording, I literally went, ah! Like, I think I did like that, like Wolverine type motion. The special song was not Boatnick's Clocky. It was also not from Alex. I did get 2 surprise songs. I got New Romantics. Not that anybody actually cares, but I did get New Romantics for the 1989 Taylor's version announcement. And I got New Year's Day, which was my top wish list song. And I did attend the same concert as Miss Carly Kloss. So she's so sweet. She's got a little goatee from all the dirt she eats.
You're such silly. She is.
The screaming does typically happen after every Daps Magic video I take, yes.
Mm-hmm. Right at the end.
You do have video of someone that's crazy. I
Shocking.
Wonder who that person
I'm surprised.
is.
Yes.
No, like I would be filming like the Disneyland band. I'd be like this, and then the song ends, and I'm like, yeah. Ew, gross, Itzy. Itzy got 2 love songs. That's so gross. Ew, yucky.
She's just sitting here. Like,
I'm so afraid of you now.
She's getting senile.
Hi, baby. I love you, my little baby. She's going senile. She has lost her hearing.
Kind of.
For the most part.
Depending on the day. Same thing after the flag retreat.
Yeah.
And after renditions of Disney songs. Good girl.
Yeah. And then her eyesight's also getting a little cloudy, so it can be hard for her to see. And she had a hard life, so she wasn't always the nicest to people she was not familiar with. Mm-hmm. And now that she's getting confused, she's not familiar with a lot of people.
She's doing great.
But she's my baby. I love her so very much.
She's doing great.
That's my angel.
There you go. All right, Katie, what should people do?
Go to dapsmagic.com, check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens. Subscribe to our mailing list and find our Patreon if you want a little bit something special in your mail.
Or in your email.
Or in your email.
Like every time we post, it emails you.
Or if you want a cute, it does. Or if you want a cute picture of Indiana.
Yeah, there's a few of those. 1 or 2. There you go.
1 or 2.
Also, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got a bunch of videos going up in the next few days. Well, every day. But we have something specifically going up on Friday because I will be at a special event at Disneyland. Well, Disney California Adventure. We'll just keep amending everything we say. But that is all the time we have for you this week. So we will see you around the corner.
Bye.